So this is Dharana number 2, verse number 25 in the Vijnanabhairava Tantra. And these are what we referred to as the tideless teachings, that we still the vrittis, the tides of the mind, through these various practices and bring them into a form of one-pointed awareness, ekagrata. So the second of these dharanas says, of the breath arising from the inner, that is the center of the body, the rit, there is a non-return for a split second from the dvadashanta. And of the breath, that is the outer breath, there is a non-return for a split second from the center of the body. If one fixes his mind steadily at these 2 points of pause, one will find that the inner self, the essential form of the self, is manifested at these 2 points. So in essence, what it's saying is that we've done the external practice of meditating on the 2 points where the breath arises and where it subsides. Now we're going to begin to focus on the pause between the breath. So the breath comes in and there's a slight pause. The breath goes out and there's a slight pause. And this pause is an opportunity to penetrate beyond thought. So long as there's movement of breath, there's movement of prana, there's movement of the mind. Prana is the substance of which thoughts are formed. So whenever there's movement, there's thought. Once we are able to penetrate the pause between the in-breath and the out-breath, we're able to go beyond thought into the tideless awareness, the place of absolute stillness. And like Patanjali says, there, in that moment, the self reveals itself. So in this practice, we focus on the pause. The breath comes in, and there's a place of complete stillness. The breath goes out, there's a place of stillness. As we continue to meditate and we're able to focus the mind on that, the breath will begin to slow down. And this pause will very naturally, without our effort, begin to extend itself. We call this kumbhak, a spontaneous retention of breath. So the breath comes in. We don't have to force this. It happens very naturally. The breath pauses. The breath goes out. There's a pause. So this is the practice, beginning to focus the mind on a one-pointed awareness of the pause between the breath. If thoughts come in, we simply bring it back to the pause. We don't add any additional thought to us. Remember, this is a tideless meditation. No vrittis, no thoughts. As few thoughts as possible, we just simply focus on the pause. So let's do it together for just a couple of minutes. Bring your awareness to the breath. You can close your eyes and get comfortable, noticing that the breath comes in. There's a slight pause. The breath goes out. There's a pause. As we focus on the pause, allow that pause to grow longer. Not with effort, just by bringing our awareness to it. So sit quietly, notice the pause. So now gently returning. Notice the breath. And I'm going to encourage you to become more conscious of your breath in your daily life. whenever the mind gets busy, we feel ourselves being drawn outside. It's very convenient, very easy to just bring your awareness to the breath. You can focus on the movement of the breath or the pause between the breath. Questions?
So Swamiji, you are basically talking about how to increase the length of the gap between two thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. This length between the in-breath and the out-breath will grow naturally. As the mind becomes still, the need to breathe will become less. That the breath and the mind are interconnected. When the mind is still, the breath becomes still. When the breath becomes still, the mind becomes still. And what happens when we reach this place of stillness, that we become aware of an inner energy. Sometimes we describe this as the breath within the breath. It's also been described as the spanda. In a moment of complete stillness, we notice a little burst of energy. And it's this energy that draws the breath in. It's this energy which causes us to exhale. So we become aware of an energy that's beyond the physical breath, the breath within the breath, which gives rise to the physical breath. So there's no need to hold the breath for long periods of time. Just by focusing on the pause, this kumbhak, this spontaneous retention of the breath, will naturally begin to occur. And you may find that for you, it happens on the inhalation. The breath comes in, and the breath is suspended for a while. Then the breath goes out. Or you may find that the kumbhak happens more naturally for you on the exhalation. That happens to be true for me when I go into deep meditation, into what we call samadhi, complete absorption in the inner self. My stillness happens on the out breath. You may find it on the inner breath. Whichever way, whatever's natural for you, do it that way.
So that means, first of all, that this prana is the connection between the universal consciousness and the self. Can I say like this?
Mm-hmm.
And during this meditation technique, when this length is increased, and till that period, you can visualize, or you can see, or you can feel the connection of prana with the self and resulting to the experience of the self. Is it correct?
Yes. So think about the prana as the energy of connection. So prana comes from the universal consciousness, and it takes a particular form, the individuation of our own selves. And so we can use the breath within the breath, the life force, to connect with the higher consciousness. This prana also is the connection between our mind and our physical body. So you think of it as the substance of our thoughts. Do you ever think about what a thought is? It's simply prana taking different forms. So if we think of the mind as the inner witness, what it's witnessing is the form of prana taking different forms, becoming images, becoming words. It's this life force that's also the connection between the subtle body and the physical body. We have the five pranas. We breathe in, we breathe out, we digest food, we circulate the life force through the body, we excrete. These are the five pranas. So there's the very subtlest of prana, which is the first involution, the first manifestation of consciousness. It works at the subtle level. It even works all the way down to the physical level as the breath.